inspiration is everywhere, and if you're going to keep waiting for you to feel like you know like feel like creating, then you're not really going to get to anything. One thing that really helps me is to like give yourself permission to make mediocre work. So just so you start doing it, and most of the time you end up with something really nice, because at the end of the day it comes from you. So I'm Pooja, and I've been drawing all my life. Like ever since I was a kid, I was scribbling on everything, like from walls to tables, my notebooks, textbooks, everything. I even got in trouble for most of it. And so I always felt like I was more inclined towards the creative side. I was always very inspired by the Impressionist and Expressionist movement in art history, and I was very caught up with this idea that so they use this technique called impasto, right, where they're just like brisk strokes. They don't really detail their works a lot. Like and it kind of just made me think of like it's a fleeting moment in time. So it's not a planned image. It's an image at a very specific second. So that thing kind of stuck with me as a kid, and so that's why even in my artworks today, I employ a lot of textures and a lot of like brisk movements, so that it is literally a moment in time. But also I was also very fascinated with like very intricate and maximalist artworks. So at some point I realized that to find my genuine style, I need to do what I genuinely want to do when I'm like creating an artwork. And eventually, as I kept going on with that, I finally ended up with this, which was just a combination of like all my interests, and somehow it's just an individual style. But yeah, art to me personally is emotion, because I think I've always felt like you make art when you feel like making art. You don't just, there is also practicing and stuff, but I think true artworks always come from a very personal space. And that's why I always believe that an artwork is a reflection of the artist's mind at that time. Like set aside like functional artworks, like advertising related stuff and all that is paid for. So that comes from a place of work. But like in its essence, I believe that art is a form of I wouldn't say venting, but so let's say expressing. And so I very deeply feel that, like, even with my artworks, I always try to make sure that I'm really putting out what I'm feeling right now. So even if I got an idea to make something today, but if I made it 3 days later and I was in a different state of mind, then the artwork would be different from what I would have made today. Okay, so 16-year-old me was a mess. She needs a lot of advice. But if there's one piece of advice I would give her is to just not give up, which she didn't do, but yeah. Because I think like it's very easy to feel intimidated or feel inferior when you see other people doing things. It's very easy to get discouraged. It's very easy to compare yourself. It's very easy to feel like you're not qualified, to get imposter syndrome, all of this. And at the end of the day, I think what really matters is that if you want to do something, just push yourself past all of these things, because like I'm pretty sure it'll be worth it in the end. Even if it's something that you don't like in the end, just the fact that you pushed through with it and you saw it through, it will make it worth it. So yeah.